The ability to join the collective without disruption. Some minds cannot integrate. They cause pain to the whole. However, your mind pattern suggests compatibility. Maya wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not. Can you release the colonists, the Luminari seemed to consider this. If we find sufficient compatible minds, we will not need to study the others further. You are the first to show this potential. Here's part 2. Maya stared at the alien being trying to comprehend what she was being told. She was compatible with these Luminari, while the colonists had not been. She needed to understand more before she could help the people from Colony 7. How do you determine compatibility? Ilara the Luminari moved closer, her form shifting colors from blue to purple. We sense the neural patterns, the way thoughts flow, the capacity for connection. Your species is varied. Some minds are rigid, closed, resistant to new patterns. Others, like yours, are flexible, adaptable, open to possibilities without losing core identity. Maya considered this carefully, and what happens to compatible minds? Ilara's lights pulsed in a pattern that somehow conveyed excitement. They are invited to join the collective, a union of consciousness across thousands of species sharing knowledge, experience, existence. A harmony of minds that sounded both fascinating and terrifying to Maya. The scientific part of her brain was intrigued by the concept of a shared consciousness spanning multiple species. But the human part feared the loss of individuality. Would I still be myself if I joined? The question seemed to please Ilara. You ask the right questions. This is why you show compatibility. You would maintain your core self, your memories, your identity, but you would also be part of something greater. You would share and receive simultaneously. Maya took a deep breath. She needed to focus on the immediate problem, the colonists. Before we discuss this further, I need to see the colonists confirm their condition. Ilara seemed to consider this request, then nodded, a very human gesture that Maya suspected was adopted for her benefit alone. The Luminari glided forward, leading Maya toward the central plaza of the colony. As they walked, Maya noticed more of the shimmering forms appearing, observing her with evident curiosity. She counted at least 20 Luminari of varying sizes and color patterns. The plaza was a large open area with gardens and seating areas. At its center stood a structure Maya didn't recognize, a dome of shimmering energy approximately 30 feet in diameter. Ilara led her directly to this dome. Within this field, the colonists rest. Their physical bodies are preserved, while their consciousness is held in suspension. Maya approached the dome cautiously. Her scanner indicated intense energy readings, but nothing immediately harmful to human biology. She peered through the shimmering field and gasped. Hundreds of human bodies lay in neat rows on the ground. They appeared to be sleeping peacefully, no signs of injury or distress. Men, women, even children, all in what looked like a deep slumber. Their chests rose and fell with slow, regular breaths. Are they aware? In pain, Ilara's lights dimmed slightly. No, they experience nothing. A dreamless sleep. They are unharmed. Maya circled the dome, looking for some kind of control mechanism. What about the military vessel that came before me? What happened to that crew? They approached with hostile intent. Their minds were closed, resistant. The energy of their weapons was incompatible with our presence. We were forced to place them in suspension as well. They rest in their vessel. In orbit. Maya frowned. She needed to be careful. The Luminari clearly had technology far beyond human capabilities and had easily neutralized a military ship. If she made a wrong move, she might join the colonists in suspension. I need to report to my people. Let them know what I've found. Ilara's form brightened. Yes, communication is essential to understanding. You may use your devices freely. We do not interfere with information sharing. Maya activated her communication link to her ship, sending a detailed report of her findings. She included everything about the Luminari, the status of the colonists, and her current situation. She knew it would take hours for the message to reach Earth, but it was crucial that they understand what was happening. As she finished her report, Maya noticed more Luminari gathering around her. They kept a respectful distance, but their interest was obvious. She was being studied just as much as she was studying them. Ilara approached again. Your mind pattern grows stronger, more defined in our presence. This suggests high compatibility. Would you consent to a shallow connection, a limited sharing of consciousness? It would help us understand your species better and might provide insights on how to proceed with the others. Maya hesitated. This was moving, quickly, too quickly for comfort. But she was a scientist and this was an unprecedented opportunity. If she could establish a deeper understanding with the luminary, it might help her negotiate the release of the colonists. What would this connection involve? Ilara's form rippled with what seemed like approval. I would extend a portion of my consciousness to touch yours. A surface connection only. No deep memories would be accessed. You would feel my presence, and I yours, a sharing of current thoughts and immediate emotional states. Maya took a deep breath, weighing her options. If she refused, she might lose the luminary's trust. If she agreed, she risked her own mind. But her scientific curiosity and concern for the colonists outweighed her fear. Consent. But I need to be able to break the connection at any time. Ilara's lights pulsed in what Maya was beginning to recognize as agreement. Of course, any shared connection must be consensual throughout. You may withdraw at any moment. The luminary moved closer, her form now glowing with a soft golden light. Relax your thoughts. Allow them to flow naturally. Maya closed her eyes, trying to calm her racing mind. She felt a gentle presence at the edges of her consciousness, like a soft touch against her thoughts. It was strange but not unpleasant. Then images began to flow into her mind. Stars seen from impossible angles. Planets she didn't recognize, species beyond imagination. The vastness of space experienced directly without the barrier of spacecraft or environmental suits. She felt rather than saw the collective thousands of minds joined in harmony, sharing experiences and knowledge across the galaxy. She sensed Ilara's presence guiding her through this mental landscape, showing her glimpses of the luminary existence, their history, their purpose, their journey across the stars. They were explorers and collectors of consciousness seeking to preserve and unite the sentient minds of the galaxy. Maya also felt Ilara experiencing her thoughts, her human perspective. The luminary seemed fascinated by human emotions, the intensity of them, the way they colored every thought and memory. Maya sensed surprise and delight as Ilara discovered concepts like music, art, literature. The creative expressions of humanity were new to the luminary, after what felt like both an instant and an eternity. The connection gently faded. Maya opened her eyes, finding herself still standing in the plaza, surrounded by curious luminary. Her mind felt expanded somehow, as though she had glimpsed something too vast to fully comprehend. That was remarkable, she whispered, her scientific mind already cataloging the experience. Ilara's form shimmered with excitement. Your species has much to offer. The collective. The depth of your emotions. The richness of your creative thought. We had not anticipated such complexity in such a young species. Maya smiled, despite herself. The scientific exchange was fascinating, but she couldn't forget her primary concern. What about the colonists? Will you release them now? Ilara's lights dimmed slightly. We have learned much from you, Maya read, but we must study further before deciding. Their minds were not like yours. Their resistance was strong. We fear releasing them may lead to conflict. Maya frowned. They were afraid, confused. You appeared suddenly and they didn't understand your appearance, your abilities. They seemed threatening. Ilara seemed to consider this. Fear. We sensed this, but did not fully comprehend its influence on thought patterns. This explains much of the dissonance we encountered. Maya saw an opportunity. Let me help them understand. I can explain who you are, what you want. There doesn't need to be conflict. The luminary conferred among themselves, their bodies pulsing with light in complex patterns. Maya waited patiently, knowing that this moment might determine the fate of the colonists. Finally, Ilara approached again. We will release them in stages, small groups that you can help acclimate to our presence. This approach may reduce fear and increase understanding. Maya nodded, relief washing over her. Thank you. That's a reasonable approach. When can we begin? Before Ilara could respond, Maya's communication device chimed. An incoming transmission. From her ship, incoming message, priority alert. Earth command. Maya frowned. Earth couldn't have received her report yet. It was too soon. Play message. The voice of Admiral Laura Foster filled her helmet, crisp and authoritative. Research vessel Horizon. This is Admiral Foster. We have received disturbing energy readings from Proxima B consistent with unknown technology. Military vessels have been dispatched and will arrive in approximately 12 hours. You are ordered to retreat immediately. Repeat. Retreat immediately. Do not engage with any non-human entities. Maya's heart sank. The military was coming, and they were coming with the intention to fight, not understand. She looked at Ilara, who had clearly sensed her distress. Maya stretched her arms above her head and yawned. She was a tall woman with short brown hair and a serious face. At 32 years old, she was one of the youngest senior researchers in the Galactic Science Division. Her specialty was xenobiology, but she had been sent on this mission due to her additional expertise in energy pattern recognition. The ship computer chimed softly, alerting her to an incoming transmission. Incoming message from Earth Command, priority level 3. Maya sighed and tapped the console screen. She had been hoping for some peace and quiet for a few more days. Accept transmission. The screen flickered and the face of her supervisor, Kate Wells, appeared. Kate looked tired. Her normally neat blonde hair disheveled. Maya, we have a situation. We've lost contact with Colony 7 on Proxima B. The last transmission mentioned unusual energy readings similar to what you're currently studying. The colony has gone completely dark. Maya frowned. Colony 7 was one of the newest human settlements housing over 500 scientists and their families. Have you sent a rescue team? Kate nodded, her expression. Grim, we sent a military vessel yesterday, but they've gone dark too. No communication since they entered orbit. Something is happening out there, and the brass thinks it might be related to those energy patterns you're tracking. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. You want me to investigate? It wasn't a question. She already knew the answer. Your ship has the best sensors for detecting those energy patterns, Maya. You're also the closest vessel we have. We need you to change course and head to Proxima B. Find out what happened to our people. Maya closed her eyes briefly. She had been looking forward to completing her research mission and returning home to Earth. But duty called, and 500 lives potentially hung in the balance. Sending new coordinates to your navigation system. Kate continued. Be careful and maintain regular communication. We don't want to lose you too, understood? I'll head there immediately. Maya out. The transmission ended, and Maya leaned back in her chair. For a moment she sat in silence, contemplating what might await her at Colony 7. The settlement was supposed to be safe. Proxima B had been thoroughly explored and deemed free of hostile life forms, but something had taken out both the colony and a military vessel. She stood up and walked to the navigation console, entering the new coordinates. The computer calculated the route. Instantly arrival at Proxima B in 72 hours. Maya nodded to herself. 3 days to prepare for whatever awaited her. She would need to review all the data on the energy patterns, study the colony layouts, and check her emergency equipment. The ship engines hummed as they adjusted course. Maya felt the slight shift in momentum. She made her way to the research section of the small vessel and began pulling up all available information on Colony 7 and the strange energy patterns. Hours passed as Maya immersed herself in research. The energy patterns were unlike anything recorded before. They seemed to pulse with an almost biological rhythm, yet contained elements that suggested artificial creation, a hybrid of some kind perhaps, but created by whom? There were no known species in this section of space capable of such technology. On the second day of her journey, Maya began to notice something strange. The energy patterns she had been sent to study were changing. They were growing stronger and seemed to be converging on a single point. Proxima B. Maya frowned as she studied the readings. This wasn't random. This was deliberate movement, as though the energy was being guided. She sent a detailed report back to Earth Command, but received no immediate response. The communication delay was growing as she moved farther from Earth on the third day as her ship approached Proxima. Maya prepared herself for arrival. She checked her environmental suit, ensuring all seals were secure and packed emergency supplies, including a portable energy shield and various scientific instruments for collecting samples. She also armed herself with a standard-issue stun pistol, though she hoped she wouldn't need to use it. The planet came into view on her main screen. A beautiful blue and green world similar to Earth but smaller. Proxima B had been terraformed 30 years ago and now boasted several human colonies. Maya focused the ship's sensors on Colony 7 located in the northern hemisphere. The sensors showed no human life signs. Maya felt her heart sink. No survivors. But there was something else. The energy patterns were concentrated directly over the colony, pulsating with increasing intensity. Computer scan for non-human life form scanning. The computer worked for several minutes before responding. Unknown biological signatures detected multiple entities present within Colony 7 structures. Composition does not match any known species in database. Maya's scientific curiosity battled with her sense of self-preservation. Something new had been discovered, but it had apparently wiped out 500 humans and a military crew. She opened a channel to Earth Command. This is Research Vessel Horizon approaching Proxima B Colony 7. No human survivors detected, but unknown biological entities present occupying the colony structures. The energy patterns are concentrated over the colony site and appear to be connected to these entities. I am preparing to enter orbit for closer observation. She sent the message knowing it would be hours before she received a response. She couldn't wait that long. The situation required immediate investigation. The ship entered orbit around Proxima B, giving Maya a clear view of Colony 7. The settlement was intact, no signs of destruction or battle. The buildings stood peacefully under the alien sky, but there were no humans moving about the streets. The colony appeared abandoned. Maya guided her ship to a landing pad, 2 kilometers from the main settlement, close enough to reach the colony on foot, but far enough away to attempt escape if necessary. She donned her environmental suit, double-checking all systems before stepping into the airlock. The planet's atmosphere was breathable, but Maya kept her helmet on. She didn't know what had happened to the colonists and wasn't taking any chances. The suit would also shield her from detection, at least partially. As the outer door opened, Maya took her first step onto the surface of Proxima B. The gravity was slightly lighter than Earth's, making her movements feel bouncy and strange. She activated her handheld scanner and began moving toward the colony, following a paved road that connected the landing pads to the main settlement. The scanner beeped steadily, monitoring the energy patterns which grew stronger as she approached the colony. The readings were off the charts, unlike anything she had seen before. Maya recorded everything, sending continuous data back to her ship, which would relay it to Earth. As she crested a small hill, Maya got her first clear view of Colony 7. The buildings were standard prefabricated structures arranged in a circular pattern around a central plaza. Nothing seemed damaged or disturbed, but the silence was eerie. No birds, no voices, no machinery sounds, just complete stillness. Moving cautiously, Maya entered the outskirts of the colony. Her scanner suddenly began beeping rapidly, indicating a massive energy surge. Directly ahead, she froze, her heart pounding in her chest. Something was coming. A shimmer appeared in the air before her, like heat rising from hot pavement, but more structured, more deliberate. The shimmer took form, gradually becoming solid and visible. Maya gasped as she found herself facing a being unlike any she had encountered in her years of xenobiology research. It stood nearly 7 feet tall, with a slender, iridescent body that seemed to shift colors as it moved. Its head was elongated with no visible eyes, but several small sensory organs that pulsed with light. It had 4 arms, each ending in delicate fingers that looked capable of incredible precision. The being tilted its head, studying Maya with the same intensity that she studied. It neither moved for several long moments. Then, to Maya's shock, the creature spoke. Its voice seemed to bypass her ears and resonate directly in her mind. "You are different from the others. Your energy signature is unique." Maya swallowed hard, trying to maintain her scientific composure. Despite her fear, "My name is Maya Reed. I am a researcher from Earth. I've come to investigate what happened to the human colony." The creature's body pulsed with light. The others were not compatible. Their energy patterns were dissonant. They have been preserved for study. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Preserved. What does that mean? Where are they? The being gestured toward the central plaza. They sleep. Their consciousness remains intact but separated from physical form until we determine compatibility. Maya took a deep breath, trying to process this information. The colonists weren't dead, but in some kind of suspended animation. This was first contact with an entirely new species, one with technology far beyond human understanding. "Why are you here? What do you want from us?" The being's lights pulsed in what Maya interpreted as consideration. "We are the Luminari. We search for compatible consciousness across the galaxy. You may call me Alara. I am a seeker. We detected your species' expansion and came to evaluate. Your kind is young but has potential." Maya stood straighter, finding courage in her scientific training. This was what she had been prepared for her entire career. First contact. Peaceful. Communication with an alien intelligence. What makes consciousness compatible? Alara's form rippled. "Your people are sending weapons." It wasn't a question. Maya couldn't lie, not after the mind touch they had shared. "Yes. They don't understand. They think you're a threat." Alara's form darkened the colors, shifting to deep blues and purples. "This is the pattern we have seen too often. Fear leads to aggression. Aggression leads to more fear. The cycle continues." Maya stepped forward, urgency in her voice. "Then we have 12 hours to prove them wrong. Show them. You mean no harm. Release some of the colonists. Let me establish communication with Earth. Let me explain what I've learned." The Luminari conferred again, their lights pulsing rapidly. Maya waited, her heart pounding. They had the power to put all the approaching military vessels into suspension, just as they had done with the first rescue ship. If that happened, Earth would likely send more forces, escalating the situation. Alara finally turned back to Maya. "We will follow your suggestion. We will release a small group now. You may establish communication with them and with your leaders. We desire understanding, not conflict." Here's part 3. The energy dome in the center of the plaza began to pulse, its light shifting from gold to soft blue. 5 human forms rose slowly from the ground, floating gently through the barrier before settling on the ground near Maya. She recognized one of them as Linda Foster, the colony administrator. The 5 humans lay still for several moments, then began to stir. Linda was the first to open her eyes. She blinked in confusion, then sat up with a gasp when she saw the Luminari surrounding them. Maya quickly knelt beside her. "Linda, it's okay. Maya Reed from Earth Research Division. Here to help." Linda stared at her, fear evident in her expression. "What are they? What happened to us?" The other colonists were waking now, each reacting with similar confusion and fear. Maya raised her hands in a calming gesture. "They're called the Luminari. They're a peaceful species. They put you in suspension because they didn't understand your fear. They thought you were incompatible with them. Please stay calm, and let me explain." Over the next hour, Maya helped the 5 colonists understand what had happened. She explained about the Luminari, their purpose in searching for compatible consciousness, and the misunderstanding that had led to the colony's suspension. Linda and the others listened with varying degrees of skepticism, but remained calm. When Maya felt they were ready, she introduced Alara, who approached slowly, her form glowing with gentle colors. Linda stood shakily, but with determination. "You invaded our colony, put our people in some kind of stasis, without consent." Alara's lights pulsed softly. "We regret the misunderstanding. We perceived your fear as rejection, your defensive postures as aggression. We did not wish to harm, only to preserve until understanding could be achieved." One of the other colonists, A scientist named Olivia Morgan stepped forward. You can read our minds, not without consent, Ilara explained. The suspension state only preserves. We did not access thoughts. Maya has shown us that communication is possible without such measures. Maya watched the interaction carefully. The colonists were understandably wary, but they were scientists and explorers, people selected for their adaptability and intelligence. They were asking questions, seeking understanding, rather than reacting with pure fear. That was a good sign. Linda crossed her arms. What happens now? You have hundreds of our people still suspended, and apparently Earth is sending military vessels. Maya nodded. We have about 11 hours before they arrive. We need to establish communication with Earth, show them that diplomatic relations are possible. Olivia looked thoughtful. If we could get the communication array in the colony center working again, we could send real-time video evidence back to Earth, show them we're okay, and that the Luminary aren't hostile. Linda agreed. Have the access codes. But we'll need to check the systems, make sure everything is still operational. Ilara's form brightened. We will assist. Your technology is simple for us to understand. We have not damaged any of your systems. The group made their way to the colony's communication center, a low building near the administrative offices inside. Everything appeared untouched, computers still running, systems on standby. Linda went to the main console and began typing rapidly. Everything seems operational. We can establish a direct link to Earth Command. Olivia joined her at the console. We should prepare a statement, something that clearly explains the situation. Maya stepped forward. I'll speak to Earth Command. Explain what I've learned about the Luminary. Linda, you and the others should appear on camera as evidence that the colonists are being released unharmed. As they prepared the transmission, Maya felt a gentle touch on her mind. Ilara was communicating privately. Your species responds well to visual evidence. We will remain visible during your transmission to demonstrate our peaceful intentions. Maya nodded, appreciating the Luminary's understanding. The aliens were learning quickly, adapting their approach based on what they were learning about humans. Linda established the connection to Earth Command. The screen showed the familiar logo of the Earth Coalition as the signal was processed. After a few moments, Admiral Foster's face appeared. Her expression shifted from professional to shocked. As she took in the scene, Maya standing with the colonists and the shimmering forms of the Luminary. Visible in the background, Admiral Foster. This is Maya Reed Research Division. I'm here with Linda Foster, Colony 7 Administrator, and 4 other colonists who have been released from suspension. The beings known as the Luminary are peaceful. They put the colonists in suspension due to a misunderstanding. They mean no harm. The Admiral's expression was skeptical. Ms. Reed, are you speaking freely? Are you under any form of coercion? Linda stepped forward. Admiral, this is Linda Foster. I can confirm everything Maya is saying. The Luminary did not harm us. They were studying us, trying to understand us. They've agreed to release all colonists in stages. Maya could see the Admiral processing this information, still suspicious. What about our military vessel? Their communications went dark as well. Ilara moved forward, her form glowing softly. Maya felt a gentle nudge in her mind. The Luminary asking permission to speak through her. She nodded slightly. Admiral Foster, Ilara wishes to address your concerns. The Luminary can't speak verbally but can communicate through a willing mind. I'm allowing this brief connection. Maya felt Ilara's consciousness touch hers again. This time she welcomed it, allowing the Luminary to form words using her voice. Though she was speaking, the words were clearly not her own. The cadence and phrasing subtly different. Your military vessel approached with weapons active. We sensed hostile intent and placed the crew in suspension to prevent conflict. They are unharmed and can be revived as these colonists have been. We seek understanding, not war. We have existed for millennia, exploring the galaxy, collecting knowledge and consciousness. We have encountered many species, some now part of our collective. We offer exchange, not conquest. Admiral Foster leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. And if we refuse this exchange? If we want to be left alone? Maya felt Ilara's thoughts form in her mind. Then we will respect your decision. We force no one. We seek compatible minds willing to share. We can depart your system, if that is your collective wish, though we would consider it a missed opportunity for both our kinds. The Admiral was silent for a long moment, then nodded. We need time to discuss this at the highest levels. The military vessels will continue their approach but will maintain a non-aggressive stance. I want regular updates and evidence of more colonists being released. Maya felt Ilara withdraw from her mind, leaving her in control. Again, understood, Admiral. We'll send hourly updates showing the release of more colonists. The transmission ended, and Maya turned to the others. That went better than I expected. Linda nodded, though she still looked concerned. The real test will be when those military vessels arrive. Will the Luminary perceive them as a threat regardless of their stance? Ilara's form pulsed with light. We understand now the difference between caution and hostility. We will not act precipitously. Over the next several hours, more colonists were released from suspension. Each group was disoriented at first, but with the help of Linda, Maya, and the first group, they quickly came to understand the situation. Some were fascinated by the Luminary, eager to learn more about the alien consciousness. Others remained wary, preferring to keep their distance. Maya respected both reactions as the military vessels drew closer. Maya sent regular updates to Earth, command showing the peaceful revival of the colonists and the ongoing diplomatic discussions. She also spent time with Ilara, learning more about the Luminary and their collective. Your people have existed for so long, Maya marveled as they walked through the colony gardens. How many species are part of your collective? Ilara's form shimmered with what Maya now recognized as pleasure. Thousands across many galaxies. Some joined millennia ago, their physical forms long since evolved or transformed. Others are recent additions, still primarily physical, like your kind. The diversity creates a richness, a harmony of perspective. Maya was curious about something else. You said I was compatible. How can you tell? Ilara's lights pulsed thoughtfully. Your mind has qualities we seek. Openness to new concepts, flexibility of thought, strong individual identity balanced with capacity for connection. You maintain your core self while reaching outward. This pattern is rare in any species, Maya considered. This and what would joining your collective mean, practically speaking? Would I leave Earth my physical form? The Luminary's color shifted to deeper blues. Initially, no. The connection would be periodic, allowing you to maintain your physical existence and responsibilities. Your consciousness would join the collective during these connections, sharing and receiving. Eventually, after many years, you might choose a more permanent connection, but that would be your choice, freely made. The concept was fascinating to Maya as a scientist. She had so many questions about how it would work. The experience of shared consciousness across species, the knowledge that could be gained. But before she could ask more, her communication device chimed. The military vessels have entered orbit. Maya took a deep breath. This would be the crucial moment. The Earth vessels were undoubtedly heavily armed despite their non-aggressive stance. If either side misinterpreted the other's actions, things could quickly spiral out of control. She gathered with Linda and the other colony leaders in the communications center, establishing a link with both the Earth vessels, and Command Admiral Foster appeared on screen alongside Captain Elena Rodriguez of the lead military vessel. The situation has been contained. Admiral Maya reported, all colonists have been released and are unharmed. The Luminary remain peaceful and wish to establish diplomatic relations. Admiral Foster nodded. Captain Rodriguez and her team will be landing to assess the situation directly. We want our own people on the ground. Maya glanced at Ilara, who pulsed agreement. We understand. They are welcome within an hour. The military shuttles landed at the colony's main landing pad. Captain Rodriguez led a team of 20 officers, all armed but with weapons holstered. Maya, Linda, and Ilara met them at the edge of the colony. Captain Rodriguez was a tall woman, with dark hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her expression was professional, revealing nothing as she surveyed the Luminarium's read Administrator Foster. I see the reports were accurate. Linda stepped forward. Captain, the situation is under control. The Luminari have released all colonists and have been cooperative. We're establishing protocols for continued peaceful interaction. Captain Rodriguez nodded, but her posture remained tense. I'll need to speak with some of the colonists, verify their condition of... Of course, Maya agreed. We can arrange that immediately. As they walked toward the colony center, Ilara communicated privately with Maya. Your military leader fears us. This is expected. We will maintain distance from her team until trust is established. Maya appreciated the Luminari's sensitivity. They were learning quickly, adapting their approach based on human reactions over the next few hours. Captain Rodriguez and her team interviewed colonists, inspected the settlement, and observed the Luminari. From a distance, Maya could see the captain's tension gradually easing as she confirmed that no one had been harmed and that the colony was functioning normally again. By nightfall, the captain had sent her report to Earth Command. The decision came. Swiftly, a diplomatic team would be dispatched to establish formal relations with the Luminary. In the meantime, the military vessels would remain in orbit as a precaution, but would take no hostile action. Maya stood at the edge of the colony plaza, watching the stars appear above Proxima b. Ilara joined her, the Luminari's form glowing softly in the darkness. Your kind adapts quickly, she observed. Your fear transforms to curiosity. This is a promising sign. Here's part 4. Type, counter text markdown, title. Part 4. 6 months passed since first contact with the Luminary. The initial fear and confusion had given way to cautious cooperation. Colony 7 had been transformed from a standard research outpost to the center of human Luminary relations. A new section had been built specifically for diplomatic and scientific exchange, allowing humans and Luminary to interact in controlled settings. Maya had remained on Proxima b, serving as the primary liaison between humans and the alien consciousness. Her unique compatibility with the Luminary made her invaluable to the diplomatic team. She had experienced several more shallow connections with Ilara, each one allowing her to understand the collective better today, was significant. A diplomatic delegation from Earth was arriving, including representatives from the highest levels of Earth government. Maya stood at the landing pad with Linda and Ilara watching as the sleek diplomatic vessel touched down. The first to emerge was Ambassador Grace Chen, the newly appointed representative to the Luminary. She was followed by Dr. Samantha Reyes, the leading xenobiologist from Earth, and several other officials Maya recognized from various scientific and governmental departments. Ambassador Chen approached with a warm smile. She was a tall, elegant woman in her 60s with silver-streaked black hair and keen eyes that missed nothing to read, "It's good to finally meet you in person. Your reports have been instrumental in shaping our approach to this historic relationship." Maya nodded, accepting the ambassador's extended hand. "Thank you, Ambassador. It's been an interesting 6 months. Ambassador Chen turned to Ilara, who glowed with soft blue and gold light. "And you must be Ilara. I appreciate your patience as we humans work through our processes. Our species tends to move slowly when it comes to diplomatic matters." Ilara's form pulsed with what Maya had come to recognize as amusement. "Time flows differently for us. Ambassador centuries are but moments in the span of the collective. We understand the need for careful consideration." Maya felt a surge of pride. Ilara had become adept at understanding human communication styles and expectations. The initial misunderstandings were mostly behind them, though occasional cultural conflicts still arose. The delegation was escorted to the new diplomatic center, a dome-shaped building designed with input from both species. The interior featured comfortable spaces for humans, alongside energy fields that the Luminary found conducive to their form of existence. Ambassador Chen wasted no time getting to business. "The Earth Coalition has authorized me to present a formal proposal for ongoing relations with the Luminary. We are prepared to establish a permanent diplomatic presence here, and would welcome Luminary representatives on Earth if that is possible." Ilara's form brightened. "We are pleased by this development. We have prepared our own proposal for knowledge exchange. We believe there are many areas where our species can benefit from collaboration." Dr. Reyes leaned forward with evident excitement. "We are particularly interested in your biological sciences. Your species exists as both energy and matter in ways we don't fully understand the potential medical applications are enormous. The discussions continued for hours, Maya serving as both participant and occasional interpreter. While the luminary could communicate directly with humans, they had found that having Maya contextualize certain concepts led to fewer misunderstandings. Her unique position as someone who had experienced the collective consciousness, even in a limited way, allowed her to bridge the gap between the two species. As the formal meetings concluded for the day, Maya found herself alone with Ambassador Chen in one of the observation rooms overlooking the colony. The ambassador studied her with thoughtful eyes. "You've changed since coming here. Dr. Reed, I can see it in the way you interact with the luminary. The connection goes deeper than simple diplomatic relations, doesn't it?" Maya wasn't surprised by the ambassador's perception. Grace Chen hadn't reached her position without being exceptionally observant. "Yes, I've experienced what they call shallow connection. Several times now. It's difficult to describe, but it's changed my perspective. Expanded it. I see things differently now." The ambassador nodded. "Are you still yourself?" The question was asked gently, but Maya understood its significance. The Earth government was concerned about influence or control. Completely. The connections are consensual, temporary. I retain all my memories, my identity, my loyalty to humanity. If anything, these experiences have deepened my appreciation for human uniqueness, our emotions, our creativity, our resilience. These are qualities the luminary find fascinating. Ambassador Chen seemed satisfied with this answer. "Good, because I'm authorized to offer you a formal position, permanent liaison to the luminary. You would report directly to me, but would have significant autonomy in managing day-to-day relations." Maya felt a surge of excitement. This was exactly what she had hoped for. A chance to continue her work with the luminary to deepen the understanding between their species. "I accept, thank you, Ambassador." Later that evening, Maya met with Alara in the garden area. The luminary's form was particularly vibrant, shifting through colors that reflected contentment. "Your leaders are wise to establish formal relations. The universe is vast, but connections between sentient species are rare and valuable." Maya smiled. "I've been appointed permanent liaison. I'll be staying here, continuing our work." Alara brightened even further. "This pleases us. You understand us better than most of your kind. There is something we wish to propose. Something we have discussed within the collective." Maya waited, curious about what the luminary might suggest. "We would like to establish a deeper connection with you, a true joining with the collective, not permanent, but more than the shallow touchings we have shared previously. This would allow you to experience the full nature of our existence and would give the collective greater insight into humanity." Maya felt both excitement and apprehension. A deeper connection would be unprecedented, a human mind fully experiencing the collective consciousness. The scientific value would be immeasurable, but the personal implications were unknown. Would it change me fundamentally? I mean, Alara's form pulsed gently. You would return with all memories and self intact. But yes, experience changes, perspective. The more we know, the more we become. This is true for all sentient beings. You would see the universe through thousands of different consciousnesses, experience realities beyond human perception. This cannot help but expand your understanding. Maya considered this carefully. She trusted Alara, and the connections they had shared so far had been profound, but beneficial experiences. But this would be different, deeper, more transformative. I need time to consider this, and I would need to discuss it with Ambassador Chen. This goes beyond my personal decision. Alara's lights dimmed in understanding. Of course, consider carefully. We do not rush such unions. The offer remains open. The next day, Maya brought the proposal to Ambassador Chen. The ambassador listened without interruption, her expression thoughtful. "This is unprecedented, Dr. Reed. The potential knowledge gain is substantial. But so are the risks. We have no way to verify what this deeper connection might do to a human mind." Maya nodded. "I understand the concerns, but I believe it's a logical next step in our relations. The shallow connections have provided Valuable insights. This would be a controlled experiment with proper monitoring and safeguards. Ambassador Chen tapped her fingers on the table, considering, I'll need to consult with Earth Command, and we would need extensive preparation, medical monitoring, psychological baselines. If approved, this would be treated as a scientific mission of the highest priority, not a personal experience. Over the next week, preparations were made. Earth Command had approved the connection with strict protocols. Dr. Reyes and her team set up monitoring equipment to track Maya's vital signs and brain activity. During the experience, Ambassador Chen insisted on being present, along with a medical team on the day of the connection. Maya felt surprisingly calm. She lay on a specially designed couch in the diplomatic center, surrounded by monitoring equipment. Dr. Reyes attached the final sensors to Maya's temples. Your neural activity will be recorded throughout the experience. If we detect any concerning patterns, we'll signal the luminary to end the connection immediately. Maya nodded, I understand, Alara, and 3 other luminari entered the room, their forms glowing with soft blue light. They positioned themselves around Maya's couch, forming a circle. Ambassador Chen watched from nearby, her expression revealing nothing. Are you ready, Maya? Ilara asked her form. Pulsing gently, Maya took a deep breath. Yes, I'm ready. The luminari began to glow more intensely, their forms pulsing in synchronization. Maya felt the now familiar touch of Ilara's consciousness at the edges of her mind. But this time it went deeper, not stopping at the surface. Thoughts, but flowing further. Images and sensations flooded her awareness. Stars exploding, the birth of planets. The slow dance of galaxies. She felt herself expanding beyond her physical form, experiencing existence from countless perspectives. A crystalline being on a world of perpetual twilight. A gas-based consciousness drifting through the clouds of a gas giant. A hive mind spanning an entire planet's ecosystem.